Morning. I'm stood on the top of this hill and I'm going to be shooting everything Fuji XT3 1680, may even go to the 70-300, but the idea is to shoot everything in black and white. So I've got it set to a black and white setting in the camera, so that means I'll be capturing JPEGs only, whereas I always shoot RAW, and sometimes RAW and JPEG at the same time, because I do like some of the film simulations. But the film simulation I've set in here is well, it's a black and white standard basically. So yeah, I'll give details of that when I can remember what it was I've said. Okay, let's go and see if I can put out any half decent shots. It's mid-morning and it's quite a misty day, as you can see. Okay, let's go. Oh yes, and by the way, I've already had my breakfast. So was I really expecting to get nice contrasty black and whites in these simulations, especially on an overcast day like today? And what did I end up with? Grey and white, not black and white. And yeah, well, should have chosen a sunny day, shouldn't I? But anyway, I persevered. Let's see what happens. Of course, you have to come back for your camera. So let's run back up. Now I'm knackered. And I've only just had my breakfast, so that wasn't a clever idea. With camera on, go to menu, go to IQ, top left, click to the right, film simulation. We'll go right to the top first. Standard Provia, so these are all the colour ones. Velvia, Vivid, used to use that in the film days. Astia Soft, use that actually for shooting stills when I'm shooting JPEGs and RAW together. It's very nice. Then you have all these other ones. I never use any of these except for Eterna Cinema. That's really, really nice. Use that for movie shooting. Now, here we come across the black and white. Now, I've got it set to red, which is the one I should have set it to right from the very get-go when I'm shooting these black and white, but I didn't, stupidly. Then you have, but they see shooting black and white gives rich details of sharpness, yeah. Yellow, that will slightly enhance contrast. But go to red and that will really give you a bit of a boost, and that's what you really want, I think. Or at least that's what I want. There's also a G, which is ideal for portraiture, but I've not tried it. Okay, so we'll go to red and set that. There we go, fantastic. Now when you're down here, the next option is to make your black and whites cooler or warmer, if you wish. Oh, I didn't point out there's also a CPS setting, but I wouldn't bother with that, to be honest. There you go, but that's it. So once you've done that, out you go, start shooting. Wonderful. Yeah, film simulation. Save it as a preset though, much quicker to get to and access. So, I'm shooting in black and white Acros mode, which says provides rich sharpness and contrast. I hope so, because the light is as flat as a pancake. There is no contrast. Yep, flat and white with Acros standard. Love this old tree. First shot at 28mm, and then I stepped further back and shot at 80mm on the 1680, both at f4. At the 80mm end, less depth of field improves the image, along with a slight contrast boost too. I love this tree. Being particularly good when there's frost on it, and there would have been if I'd got up about 3 hours earlier. And also good with strong side lighting too from the sun, but no, not much chance of that today. Still, it makes for an interesting subject. There's a lot of pictures you can pull out of something like this. I wonder what was living in there. Now that would be a tarantula if we were in Zion Canyon right now. So dear viewer, you may be thinking, why didn't I go out on a bright blue sky day with great billowing cumulus clouds? Well, I didn't want to make it too easy for myself, did I? I love a gnarly old tree like this, or giant log if you like. Yeah. So I've got no real game plan. I'm either going to shoot textures, close-ups, landscapes, whatever catches my eye. because I have never tried shooting any of these, well, other than Astia Soft on JPEG. I've never tried the black and white modes because I thought, well, best to, you know, capture in colour and then process later. But today I am using the Acros black and white, as I mentioned earlier, and yeah, perhaps I should make the whole video black and white. Anyway, it's getting brighter, and I can see some blue up there now. Oh, that's better. Now it's underexposed. Yeah, I usually lock the exposure when I remember to, that is. Ah, but I love this. I love all this texture and detail. And this, covered with frost, is magnifical. Yeah. So, basically, I'm going to carry on shooting whatever I see, whatever I think might make a nice monochrome image. Yeah. So after shooting in the black and white Acros standard profile, I then decided to switch to Acros R, red. Yeah, I've never actually used this mode before because I always shoot in colour and raw. So trying this out is a completely new experience, yeah. But we're going to have some strong sunlight. So whereas I started off with dull, overcast skies, the frost had disappeared, it had melted. Looks like we're going to get some strong sun now. And for black and white, yeah. Because I'm really driven by the light, much more so than the composition. Well, composition's important, of course. That's probably nonsense to say that, but the light is the key thing for me. And if you can't get that, then it's the composition. Yeah. But yeah, it's changing dramatically. By the time I get home, before coffee, we'll press on. So I have my XT3 set to RAW plus JPEG. So whatever simulation I use, I will always have the RAW file in colour. Mud. You may be thinking I'm a bit of a stick in the mud. Yeah, some people coming up behind me. Normally they wouldn't catch me, but that's the problem coming out later. No issues first thing in the morning, especially not around here. This is an extremely muddy section here, and it gets worse. Definitely going to be arse over tip one of these days. Yeah, so with the 1680 on the Fuji XT3, I'm shooting across the zoom range, but mostly on the 80 actually. That's for differential focus, and then shooting at f4. Throw the background out, way out of focus. Well, which you can really only do when you're close up to the subject. You can hear the geese. So, coming up to one of my favourite spots now for shots of the hill, which at the right time of year with sunrise can be quite spectacular. And you have a leading line of a flooded stream which leads the eye right over towards the hill. Yeah, I can murder a coffee. Of course, the one thing that looks great in black and white is grain, or in this case digital noise sometimes. And I can remember using 3200 ISO black and white film, Kodak recording film, going way back in the mist of time. But anyway, I could obviously rack up the ISO here, 3200, 6400 or beyond, and shoot at a zenith of a second, and yeah, get some really grainy pictures. I'll try one or two, but you know, you can always add that in post. So noise. I've nipped out again this morning with the XT3 and the 1680, and I've been shooting in another black and white simulation, this time with the red filter, which darkens skies and enhances contrast considerably, or so it says. So we'll see if there's much of a difference to what I was taking yesterday. But not only that, I was also shooting at high ISOs up to 12,800, which is very grainy, noisy. And then reducing it down to 6,400, 3,200, 1,600 and so on, just to see what they're like. And this will darken blue skies and enhance contrast, etc. However, I had to wait for the right conditions. Sadly though, it was still dull the following day. I need a sunny day. I'll get it Flat white or grey and white is an absolute anathema to me. I like punchy, contrasty black and whites. Bit of noise, bit of grain in there too. Yeah, I like it really meaty. Actually, high ISO noise is controlled very well with these JPEGs straight out of the camera. So before we both lose the will to live, here's a comparison taken in sunny weather. Now that's more like it. No doubt though, huge cumulus clouds with a deep blue sky will look great. If I could only find it at the moment in this winter time, particularly in Acros R. Acros, by the way, comes from the original Fujifilm Nearpan Acros, and like most of the other film sims such as Provia, Velvia and Astia, they were all legendary Fujifilms from yesteryear. So, there we have it. XT3 film simulation, black and white. We'll see what we've got. So if you like what you've seen, guys, please subscribe, bash the bell, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.